So I have been very critical of Andrew Yang since the primary. I think Andrew Yang is a garbage candidate, was a garbage candidate. He lost, he's no longer running. He was a garbage candidate. He has done, I think, a lot of good for the idea of UBI, but he's also done a lot of bad for the idea of a UBI, because you have a whole generation of people that think, well, not, I don't know about a whole generation, but you have this relatively larger than it should be contingent of people that think that Yang's UBI platform and Yang's UBI, like agenda and policy was progressive, left wing, and they're copying it and saying that this is the gold plan, the platinum plan for UBI, which is not the case. Andrew Yang's UBI was always snake oil. Always, okay? Because what he advocated for was defunding welfare programs like housing assistance, right? And, food stamps, and putting that money into UBI, right? So, if he also said in his policy platform, right, that if you are on certain things, like certain forms of disability or Social Security, you can either choose that or UBI. So if someone's making $500 on other welfare programs a month and they want the $1,000, in reality, they're only getting $500. And my problem with Andrew Yang was he had no chance of winning. There was no chance of winning for him. And so the idea that he would run as a single issue candidate and not run on the most effective, the best looking version of that single issue leads to me to believe that the guy is not on our side. He's also, immediately after the primary was over, he endorsed Joe Biden and went on CNN as a commentator. The guy's a sellout. The guy's not interested in actually trying to help people. He just wants to use something to his advantage. He's a grifter. Now, with that being said, you know who's more of a grifter? This fucking bitch. Christine Pelosi. This is such an awful tweet. This is really an awful fucking tweet. Jesus Christ. So the context here, if we read the quoted tweet first, Nancy needs to say yes to a relief bill, says Andrew Yang, so that Americans can get help before the holidays. And then Christine Pelosi has to white knight for her mommy, who's Speaker of the House. It's not like this is like someone who works at a grocery store and someone mansplained her, something about like oranges and how much they weigh at the fucking checkout or whatever, right? This person's Speaker of the House. They're millionaires. Yet Christine Pelosi is taking to Twitter to get in arms over Andrew Yang's statement. How dare Andrew say something so sexist, right? Hashtag everyday sexism is a man using her first name to refer to the Speaker of the House who's been passing stimulus bills for months. Note he doesn't ask Donald or Mitch to make a deal or explain why we should sacrifice OSHA protections for essential workers, most of whom are women. Now, again, I'm thinking if Andrew Yang has not talked about Donald Trump and stimulus packages in the last 3 months, I would be shocked, right? The guy's a cipher. The guy, does this, and then, oh, right, people don't like Trump. Trump is bad. That's Andrew Yang's politics. He is a cipher. He looks at the room and reads the room and says what he thinks is the most popular going forward. He's trying to build himself credibility, and that's why I tell people to be very wary of him. Andrew Yang and Kamala Harris are cut from the same cloth. The only difference is that one was in the private class and one was in the public class as far as private corporations versus public government. Those are the only differences. They're both ciphers. They both try to read the room, and they both try to preemptively compromise, and that's why Andrew Yang's UBI policy was so bad. Now, I know, I'm only touching in on this because I want to make a video with the title of Pelosi, Pelosi's daughter accuses Andrew Yang of sexism. I want to do the clickbait headline, and then I want people to think about why they're simping for Andrew Yang. And that's my goal here. That's my agenda. I'm pushing anti-Yang propaganda, and I'm fully open about that because I think if someone is on food stamps and they want a $1,000 dividend that middle-class people get that just gives them an extra $1,000, I think everyone should have an extra $1,000, not just the rich, not just the middle class. If someone is poor, and they only, they choose, I gotta choose between this and that, and then they only come out with maybe $600 extra. all that does is cement the class structure that we currently have. UBI is great, and this is my problem, is again, I like UBI. I'm a huge fan of giving people cash payments. That's my fucking thing. I love that shit. But it needs to be unconditional. Look at Rashida Tlaib's bill from, I think, like February or something, where she proposed people get refillable debit or credit card things, right? And the government just drops $2,000 a month on those, and they can use it for whatever. That is a real UBI. The same thing that Bernie Sanders was supporting throughout this pandemic. That is a real UBI. Unlike Andrew Yang's dumb garbage, game show, reality TV shit. So, just throwing that out there, giving my hot take. Thank you. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you disagree. Who knows? Maybe you fucking disagree. We all fucking disagree every now and then. That's cool. That's fine. We all fucking disagree. Turple says, fuck Yang. He wants to set it up so there's work, but you don't get to choose what. It should be put on top of UBI if he was honest about it. That's my thing. It's like, again, if you're going to run as a single issue candidate, that's what Bernie Sanders did in 2016. He ran as a single issue candidate on Medicare for all. And he didn't compromise. He didn't say Medicare for all for, people that, don't have food stamps, or Medicare for all for people like... No, he was a single issue candidate, and he was talking about Medicare for all, right? That was Bernie 2016 campaign. And that was one of the reasons why he lost, because he wasn't running to win. He was running a message campaign, right? So if you're running a message campaign and you're already compromising, right, from the get-go, there's something nefarious about that. And I'm just pointing that out.